Welcome back to One-on-One Sports. I'm now joined by our resident hockey experts Cam Saselski and Tim Kraus to discuss some Hall of Fame hockey. Guys, I know you're both excited. I'm excited. Let's get right into it, all right? Last week in Toronto, Scott Niedermayer, Chris Chelios, and Brendan Shanahan were all inducted into the Hall of Fame. Which one of these three players do you think deserved it most? Tim, I'll start with you.
I'm going to go with one of the two defensemen that were inducted, and I'm going to go with Scott Niedermayer. Niedermayer is a 5-time All-Star. He won a Norris Trophy. He won a Conn Smythe Trophy as playoff MVP, and he is a 4-time Stanley Cup champion. He's been the captain of every team he's played for. You got to go with Niedermayer.
Scott Niedermayer was a great defenseman, but he's the second best defenseman in this Hall of Fame class.
Okay.
Chris Chelios, listen to the stat line.
Okay.
3 Stanley Cups, 3 Norris Trophies, 10-time All-Star. He captained the Montreal Canadiens and the Chicago Blackhawks. He has the 10th most points all time from the defenseman. How can you not give it to Chris Chelios?
Cam, when you look at these two guys per season, statistically, points per game, assists per game, and goals per game, they're all separated by 2/100ths of a percentage point. That's crazy. They're so similar. But the playoffs is where Niedermayer wins it out.
But he only won one Stanley Cup.
No,
Chelios won 3.
Niedermayer won more than one cup.
He won one with New Jersey.
He won 2 with New Jersey,
2 with New
one
Jersey.
with Anaheim.
Okay, so they both won 3.
Yes.
But he only captained one Stanley Cup.
No, he was the captain of New Jersey in the last Stanley Cup that they won.
Okay.
Guys, I think we can both agree that all 3 of these players were very much deserving of their spot in the Hall of Fame. But let's move on to next year. Next year's class has a lot of good talent coming in. Now, I want to know which one of these guys do you think is most deserving of a spot?
You know, most deserving is the key word here, because I think Dominik Hasek's going to get in. I think Peter Forsberg's going to get in. But you would talk about a guy who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and that's Mark Recchi. Mark Recchi played the 4th most games all time. He won 3 Stanley Cups with 3 different teams. He has the 12th most points all time, and he was a 7-time All-Star. This guy played with poise and class throughout his career. He deserves to be a Hall of Fame.
Cam, I like the pick a lot. Mark Recchi's a great player. He definitely deserves to be called from the Hall of Fame. But the one thing that Mark Recchi isn't is he isn't the greatest player to ever play his position. I'm going to go with the Dominator, Dominik Hasek, who is the greatest goalie to ever play the game of hockey. Hasek has the leads the career save percentage, the highest in the history of the sport. He's the only goalie to lead a season with save percentage when facing the most shots per game. He's a 6-time Vezina Trophy winner, and he did that in 6 years, and he's the only goalie to win multiple MVPs. Dominik Hasek is the greatest goalie to ever play the game.
Guys, it'll definitely be exciting to see the results of next year's induction. I'm excited. But moving on, let's talk about people who aren't in the Hall of Fame. Tim, I'm going to start with you. Who is the biggest snub in the history of Hall of Fame?
I got to go with Eric Lindros, and yes, he's still Hall of Fame eligible. Yes, he'll probably get in eventually, but the fact that 3 inductions have gone by and he isn't in the Hall of Fame is crazy. He averages 1.14 points per game. It's 19th all time, and he's only one of 2 players in the top 30 that are Hall of Fame eligible that didn't get inducted yet. He's a former MVP. He's the only Hall of Fame eligible former MVP to not get inducted yet. He's a 6-time All-Star. It's time for Lindros to get the call.
I agree with Eric Lindros. The only thing that's holding him back is he didn't win a Stanley Cup. It's kind of that Cam Neely, kind of thing. Cam Neely is in the Hall of Fame now. Lindros may get in. He probably will. But I went with a guy in Theo Fleury. This guy was 5'6".
Good pick.
He won a Stanley Cup with the Calgary Flames, 7-time All-Star. He was better than a point-a-game player over the course of his career. Incredible offensive talent. He's been eligible since 2006. The fact that he still isn't in, it boggles my mind.
I hope he gets in.
Yeah, guys, it's definitely surprising that both of these players aren't in based off of their resume, which is fantastic, but sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. Now, moving on, let's look into the future. There's some fantastic players, so much talent in this league. I want you to pick a player under the age of 25 that has the best chance to become a Hall of Famer. I'm going to start with you, Cam.
For this question, I don't know how you cannot go with Steven Stamkos. 23 years old. He has 409 points in 390 games. Better than a point-a-game player again. He has 2 Rocket Richard trophies for most goals in a season, and he's a 2-time All-Star 5 seasons into his career. This guy's going to be a Hall of Famer one day.
Stamkos is a great answer. You went with the best scorer under the age of 25. I went with the most complete player under the age of 25. I'm going to go with John Tavares of the New York Islanders. He is a complete player. He excels in every part of the game. He's a poor man's Sidney Crosby. And I just think the way the Islanders have built their team, they have a lot of young talent around him, guys that he's going to build chemistry with and play with for a long time. I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
And I mean, though both these guys don't have a Stanley Cup yet, they're both great leaders, and I think they're going to be Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah,
and Hall
they probably
of Famers
will eventually get that cup.
Exactly. There's an exciting future in hockey. I hope both of them continue their career, and especially Stamkos recover from that leg injury that he recently had. That's all the time we have for this block of 101 Sports, but stay tuned as Rajat sits down with our NBA experts to talk some early season basketball. You don't want to miss this.